Hey guys, Flip Man here out in Temecula, California, visiting with Victoria here.
Hi.
So her and I met back during the COVID pandemic, yeah?
Yeah, right at the beginning.
And guess where we met, guys? Right on Instagram. So shout out to Pace, who I wouldn't have been on Instagram, but now I'm on there, and glad we got a chance to meet. That was right when I entered Airbnb business back then. So I was doing consulting through Instagram and
Yeah, I feel like I had a couple mutual friends that followed you. And
Okay.
I was like, oh, curious, like watching your Airbnb videos and how you were flipping and starting. And yeah, I was like, I'm going to just reach out. What does it hurt?
so Victoria took the initiative, and next thing you know, we hopped on a call and we're sitting here in her amazing Airbnb in Temecula, California. So what was that whole process, Victoria? Because I know you were in property management for years, but you had never been, you were just researching Airbnb and...
Yeah, well, I was in real estate and I stay in so many Airbnbs. I was like...
Because you said Palm
like,
Springs and some
Yeah.
other spots I remember.
Yeah, I was like, why don't I start one of these? I feel like they're so expensive. They're for sure paying their mortgage plus some, And I think I was just curious. And then after I talked to you and you kind of just went for it, I was like, why am I like big dealing this? Like, just go for it,
Right.
So-
But I love the questions you asked, and like you're very thorough and detailed in that call.
And
So
it was cool seeing like how willing you were to help, because I feel like sometimes you're like, people are busy, they don't have the time, and you were like, yeah, like happy to.
yeah, because I love it, so I want to help others to do
So
that.
After like you talking to you, I kind of was like, all right, like I just want to decide what area I want to be in. So I
Was that hard? Because I know California is so vast, and you were living in Carlsbad or San Diego or
Yeah.
Carlsbad. Okay.
I think there's some places are putting restrictions. So I wanted to do
Yes.
research and figure that out. Yeah, I got pregnant and then had a baby and was like, I'm just going to pull the trigger. And we bought this in January, mid-January.
I remember my first one, even though I had flipped for years, I was still like, does this really work?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I almost talked myself out of it.
Yeah.
The whole escrow. All escrow. Literally the day before, I'm like, do I still want this? I don't know.
So how, like, after we spoke, I know you had life happen, how quickly did you jump in?
Honestly, like a little over a year. I was looking, but with the uncertainty of COVID and everything else, I was like, I don't know. I don't even own my own house yet, so I was like, do I want to buy
I
an Airbnb
remember,
first?
yes.
Do I want my own house first? I ended up deciding why not stay where I'm at, where I get a good deal and I can make revenue on my Airbnb. And then
What was your biggest fear, I guess, getting into, like, this is what, 800, what did you buy this one for? They were saying $850, okay.
my biggest fear was, what if it's not renting out? And like I have a mortgage to pay.
Yes.
Honestly, like we in 6 weeks renovated the whole place, furnished the whole thing. I ordered everything online, and I was still working and like had a newborn baby. So I'm here on the weekends, just all day grinding. Got photos done, went up in 48 hours, and no joke, like 6 months of weekends booked.
Wow.
And the weekends pay for the mortgage plus some.
Oh, I'm sure. And it's so cool to see you make a decision and then go get it, and now it's here.
Yeah.
Like, that must have been exciting once.
No, I was
you-
like so happy when I saw stuff coming in, because I'm like, crap, like, you just don't know.
Yeah.
It's
And-
the fear of not knowing.
Right. Do you remember that first ding on the like Airbnb app when you got your first
Oh
booking?
my gosh, yeah. And they were like coming in, and I'm like drinking wine, like celebrating the photos and the listing around.
You did a great job on your first one. A couple questions as far as pricing, like where do you go to like monitor like what you're gonna charge? Because this, you said it's 3,400, sleeps 14 to 16 people. It's got an amazing pool in back. And so how did you figure out the pricing? Did you go to the AirDNA or?
So I did AirDNA. So you know how Airbnb recommends a certain price? I felt it was very underpriced. So I was like, I'm not charging that. Market research, I looked at comps and houses that I felt were similar, that I wanted to be similar to. Looked at them, I looked at AirDNA, I looked at Price Labs, I looked at, all the different sites that are out there. And then I kind of just listed it at what I felt I would be happy with, and that would...
I think we talked about that. Yeah. So sometimes you just got to go with the gut feel, and
Yeah.
I've made twice sometimes than what they recommend. And then you could always change it up too. Like if
Exactly.
we're not getting hits or people aren't coming, what's going on, and you could change it.
Yeah, I actually raised mine 2 days later because
Nice.
it was like getting so many hits. I'm like, am I underpriced? I thought I was high. and it was still good.
That's very exciting. So are you close to your first property? Like, is this close to where you live?
It's like 50 minutes.
Ooh, so it's a little ways.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like 2 hours round trip if I'm coming here.
I remember when I first started flipping, I would go anywhere. Like, I don't care if it's 3 hours, I'll go there and
Yeah,
I can make money. Yeah. So, you know, sometimes when you know it's a deal, you just got to go for it. And
yeah,
that's
and I felt like when I was thinking about it, it really was like, where's the market? Where do I know there's a lot of people, you know?
people, and also you said
Demand, like,
the demand as far as what's around here, the wineries, you have golf courses, you said
weddings, wineries,
wedding
golf
events.
courses. It's like if the demand is there and there's, you know, a huge market for it, it'll be successful no matter where you're at. I knew I couldn't be here in 15 minutes, so I didn't like that. That was actually one of my biggest fears. Is like, what if something's happening and I can't just like be there right away? But when you have people you trust and you find the right vendors.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask, because eventually we're going to go to other states like California here, so that's why we're here. But if you have a key handyman in house cleaning, it makes your team like solid, so you actually don't have to be in that state or that area. So you were able to secure those?
Yeah. Oh yeah, that was the biggest thing, and just, you know, interviewing and trusting your gut.
You'll go through, like you were saying, you interview like 6 people to bid out your shower doors.
Yeah.
Just so that's a great way to do it, because again, that I always tell new investors, like, make some calls, ask around. Next thing you know, you have people you interview and figure out who you want to work with. What was the hardest part of this whole process, I'd say, Victoria?
You know, I feel like once I was in the mindset of I'm just gonna do it and it's gonna be successful no matter what, it wasn't that hard.
Right, right.
The hardest part was my mind.
It's a mindset,
Yeah,
right? And sometimes when you analyze, you get
Yeah,
stuck.
you talk yourself out of
Yeah.
it. You're like, you freak yourself out.
Right.
Yeah.
I think analysis by paralysis.
Yeah.
So it's good to protect, but then you have to know when to jump too.
Yeah, it's
and
a balance,
it's
for
a
sure.
balance. So that opens the door. So I could tell you, like, teach you, but until you really do it, that's when you learn it. Yeah. Was there any like hiccups or problems like through escrow or anything with this property?
Like the seller.
Okay.
There were certain things. It was never really about. I just was hesitant. I didn't know, you know.
Because you've never bought a house, you said before.
I mean,
wow.
I sell houses. I don't buy houses.
Right,
so
right.
There's little hiccups, but nothing major.
Yeah. Renos, did you figure out like a budget and were you able to stick to it? Because I know materials are up, subcontractors prices are up. Like, not even flipping or doing budgets before. Did you figure something out?
So because of property management and because of doing real estate, I help other people find vendors all the time. And I, you know, get bids, do this.
Right. So you understood and had studied up like different prices. So you're like,
but it is always different when it's yours. You know?
when it's your money, for sure. It's like, and believe me, I made all the mistakes not knowing anyone in the field, just like calling out of the Craigslist, and like, you never know who you're going to get. Oh, the roof is, so
I think
that's.
the most important thing for me was like not just saying yes to the first price.
Yeah,
because
that's giant.
There's fields you're not familiar with, and like I got tons of quotes on every single thing to where, all right, if I get 3 quotes here, 3 quotes here, 3 quotes here for each item I was doing, I can at least get an idea of what's normal. When people, for me, when they heard Airbnb, I feel like they saw dollar signs and they're like, oh, I'm gonna give you a way higher
For
price,
sure.
you know?
Yeah, yeah.
And so just getting like several quotes helps.
Smart. I love that. I know you said you did a lot of online shopping for the decor, because you not only have your reno, then you have to furnish everything, which is another, you know, it's energy and it's learning where to go. Time, yeah, money. Right.
Quality, but cheap, but
Yeah.
affordable. But delicious.
Again, people have other careers, jobs. You were juggling like family, a lot of stuff.
Newborn
So
baby
job.
Yeah.
But you did it, and I'm proud of you. So what is on the horizon for your Airbnb business?
So we're talking about another one, but I don't know. I want to. I'm ready. I don't know if my financing is ready, but we'll see.
Yeah.
So we've profited every month by far. So the numbers are definitely there. I think we're showing. Now it's kind of, do we do another in Temecula or do we go somewhere else?
Is it like 30 days? Have you figured out your occupancy rate and all that?
So I was just doing looking at our metrics a couple days ago. I looked out the first 2 months. So I think our percentage was So out of the 30 days, we're averaging like 19 days. So out of those first 2, I thought it was awesome.
That's fantastic.
There's not a huge weekday market here. There is, but it's not. You know.
Do you double the, like, because this is a bigger price per day than your 200-300. This, you said, was 800 to 1,000?
Yeah, is the base. And then
On the weekend?
on the weekend.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah, so per weekend night. The weekdays, it just depends. I would say like $550 is the base. Then we'll charge extra based on the number of people and such.
That's amazing. So are you strictly doing it through Airbnb, or are you using other?
VRBO also.
Excellent, excellent. Well, so this is Victoria, and she was one of my very first people I consulted with on short-term Airbnb rentals, and now she's crushing it, and she's got big goals. So through this, guys, we created a course to help you guys. It's in our link in the bio, so just click here and check it out, and you could be the next Victoria there.
Thanks for having me.